What's up, space pirates? This is your captain, the Dread Pirate, Dr. Disaster, and as if we needed more proof that the fools who run Disney are out of touch with their audience, one of their executives has gone out of his way to show off their cluelessness.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
An article was recently printed in the online publication Puck, which featured a poll they conducted in January trying to determine the unfavorability of Disney, and in response to this article, an unnamed Disney executive has once again blamed the fans for Disney's failures. It seems the company has learned nothing in these past several years. We're going to look at what this person had to say, but man, I really can't believe the audacity of this jackass. It'll either make you laugh or make you furious. Probably a mixture of both.
Sheer f***ing hubris.
Alright, me hearties, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter. My handle there is Dr. Disaster1. But let's take a look at this article from Puck News. Bob Iger has a brand problem, but does it matter?
Yeah, I'd like to solve the puzzle.
All right, go ahead.
Yep.
That's it, yeah.
In the article, they feature this poll, which shows that Disney has a 21% unfavorability rating among the respondents. It was by far the highest of all the listed companies, which included other businesses such as Hasbro, HBO, and Universal. But one of the things I found most interesting was the study details. Of the 2,000 respondents, nearly 55% were women. What would the results of this poll have looked like if they had gotten something closer to 50-50 split? Because it's largely males that are dissatisfied with what Disney is doing to properties like Marvel and Star Wars. Those are largely male-skewing properties. Typically, dudes enjoy stuff like that, and women enjoy stuff like Barbie. And if you don't like to hear that, take it up with my good buddy Reality. But he's a stubborn bastard, and I don't expect him to change his mind. But also, it's interesting that only 26.3% of the respondents were frequent moviegoers. Those are the bread and butter that pay for the exorbitant costs of these Marvel and Star Wars films. For reference, up until about 8 years ago, I was a major moviegoer. I went to The Force Awakens, for example, 5 times in theaters because I was just so excited to see Star Wars movies again. But I went to The Last Jedi only 1 time, hated it, and have never given them another penny since. People like me, however, are the sort who drive their box office numbers, and they've lost me. And I suspect they've lost a lot of the frequent moviegoers. The casuals, in other words the normies, probably don't have a strong opinion of Disney one way or the other, but I will bet you that a disproportionate amount of the frequent moviegoers made up the 21% who dislike Disney. In fact, I'd be willing to bet they account for well over half of those who don't like them. But that's all just context, so that you can understand what this Disney executive is talking about. This popped up on my Twitter timeline. The author of the Puck article, Matt Belloni, put out a newsletter which said this: light feedback this holiday week, but I want to share a DM I got from a Disney executive in response to Thursday's column on whether the politicization of the Disney brand impacts box office. And this is what the executive said: Everyone says it's the movie, stupid, which is an easy thing for people to say. More appealing movies are a great way to jump the political issues, but more and more our audience, or the segment of the audience that has been politicized, equate the perceived messaging in a film as a quality issue. In other words, if you don't bow down to Disney's greatness, you're a bigot.
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
They won't say they find female empowerment distasteful in the Marvels or Star Wars, the latest Daisy Ridley trilogy, but they will say they don't like those movies because they're bad. So make better movies becomes code for make movies that conform to regressive gender stereotypes or put men front and center in the narrative, which is what you're seeing now and what Bob Iger's pivot is about right now. Well, I've got two things to say about that. Number one, I don't know who this person is listening to critique these movies, but everyone I listen to has no problem saying they hate this female empowerment bullshit in their movies. There's no coded language around here. Hedonistic girl boss stories are shit. And second of all, I'd like to point out that this dude is fighting basic biology here. Girls like certain things. Men like certain things. Why was Barbie, for example, such a massive success last year? Because finally, a movie based on a popular IP gave its target audience, which is girls and women, what they wanted. You can say the same thing about Top Gun Maverick for the year before. Finally, a movie gave dudes something they wanted to watch. People like this executive pretend that they're higher beings. They act as though we are just lesser things, complete dunces. But in truth, these wokesters are subjugates to the groupthink that exists within their social bubble. They will kick and fight and scream to high heaven that we who don't buy into their words from on high are all just stupid rubes. But in the end, we aren't seeing their movies anymore because they are the ones who changed. I would argue that people are avoiding Disney flicks because of a combination of the movies being bad and the fact that they are politicized. They write movies nobody can identify with because they use an alien sense of morality, and also the films have terrible plots because the writers try so hard to fit these stories into this alien morality. It doesn't work, and the last few years of box office disappointments from Disney are proof that I'm correct. The only proof the wokesters have to support their side of the argument is this anonymous jackass shaking his fist at customers who won't buy his products. Not all arguments are created equally.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booze.